You wake up each morning feeling like something is missing, like there is a deeper truth about yourself that no one ever taught you, a reality about your existence that the world has hidden from you since birth. You look in the mirror and see a physical body, flesh and bone. But deep within your soul, there is a persistent whisper that tells you this cannot be all that you are. You have been told your entire life that you were made in God's image, that this physical form is the divine blueprint. But what if everything you were taught was a distortion, a copy of something far more magnificent? What if the body you inhabit, the reality you perceive, is not the original creation, but a flawed imitation designed to keep you imprisoned in ignorance? Today, we are going to explore one of the most profound and controversial teachings hidden within the ancient Gnostic texts, a revelation that was deliberately suppressed by those who sought to control the spiritual narrative of humanity. The teaching is this: you were not made in the image of the true God, but in the image of a false creator, the Demiurge, who copied the original divine blueprint, the eternal light body that exists beyond this material prison. This concept strikes at the very foundation of everything mainstream religion has taught us. For centuries, we have been conditioned to believe that our physical existence is sacred, that this world is the creation of a benevolent God who fashioned us in his likeness. But the Gnostic masters, those who possess the hidden knowledge, understood a far different truth. They knew that this material realm, with all its suffering, decay, and death, could not be the work of the true infinite source. They recognized that something had gone terribly wrong in the cosmic order, that a lesser being, an entity driven by pride and ignorance, had usurped the creative process and fashioned a counterfeit reality. This entity is known in Gnostic cosmology as the Demiurge, sometimes called Yaldabaoth, the blind god who believed himself to be the supreme deity but was merely a shadow of the true divine light. The ancient texts discovered at Nag Hammadi in 1945 contain some of the most revolutionary spiritual teachings ever hidden from humanity. Among these sacred writings, we find detailed accounts of how this reality came into being, not as an act of love from the supreme God, but as a mistake, an aberration in the divine order. The Secret Book of John, one of the most complete Gnostic Gospels, describes how the Demiurge came into existence through the premature action of Sophia, divine wisdom herself. In her desire to create without her consort, Sophia produced an offspring that was malformed, a being that possessed creative power but lacked true divine consciousness. This being, the Demiurge, looked upon the void and declared himself to be God, ignorant of the vast realms of light that existed above him. In his arrogance and blindness, he set about creating the material universe, fashioning it as a prison to trap the sparks of divine light that had fallen into his domain. But here is where the teaching becomes truly profound and deeply personal to each of us. When the Demiurge created humanity, he did not create from nothing. The texts reveal that he saw a reflection, a vision of the true divine human form, the original light body that exists in the pleroma, the realm of fullness where the true God dwells. This primordial human, sometimes called the Anthropos, or the true Adam, is the actual image of the divine, a being of pure light, consciousness, and infinite potential, unconstrained by matter, time, or death. The Demiurge, in his limited understanding, attempted to replicate this glorious form, but all he could create was a gross imitation, a body made of earth and water, blood and bone, a vessel subject to decay, pain, and mortality. This is the body you inhabit now, not the original divine blueprint, but a copy, a shadow, a prison designed to keep your true light body dormant and forgotten. Think about this deeply for a moment. Everything that causes you suffering in this life, every ache, every illness, every limitation of your physical form, exists because you are inhabiting a counterfeit body created by a false god. The fatigue you feel, the way your body ages and deteriorates, the inevitable march toward death, none of this is natural to your true divine self. Your authentic form, your light body, knows nothing of these limitations. It exists in a state of eternal vitality, perfect health, and boundless energy. It is a body made not of matter, but of living light, responsive to thought, unlimited by space, and eternal in its nature. This is what you truly are beneath the layers of false identity that have been imposed upon you. This is the image of the true God, and it is your birthright to remember and reclaim it. Now, I want to pause here and ask you something important, something that may be stirring in your heart right now as you hear these words. Have you ever felt like your physical body is a cage? Like there is a part of you that wants to break free from the limitations of flesh and matter? Have you ever experienced moments where you felt larger than your body, more expansive than this physical form, as if your consciousness could extend beyond the boundaries of skin and bone? If these questions resonate with you, I want you to leave a comment right now. Simply write, "I remember my light body." By writing this, you are not just engaging with this content. You are making a declaration to the universe. You are speaking to your own divine essence, calling it forth from the depths where it has been hidden. Your comment also helps this message reach others who are on the same journey of awakening, people who need to hear this truth just as much as you do. So take a moment, pause this video if you need to, and write in the comments, "I remember my light body." Let that statement activate something deep within your consciousness, and then we will continue this journey together. The Gospel of Philip, another crucial Gnostic text, provides additional insight into this teaching of the two bodies. It speaks of the bridal chamber, the sacred space where the human soul reunites with its divine counterpart, its light body, and becomes whole once more. The text explains that those who are trapped in ignorance identify completely with the physical body, believing it to be their true self, while those who have received gnosis, the knowledge of truth, recognize that they are wearing the physical body like a garment, but their true identity is the divine spark, the light within. This light is your connection to the original human form, the template that the Demiurge could only poorly copy. Every moment you spend in spiritual practice, in meditation, in the cultivation of inner awareness, you are strengthening your connection to this true body and loosening the grip of the false material form. The implications of this teaching are staggering when you truly grasp them. It means that every religious system that tells you to worship the creator of this world, every doctrine that teaches you to glorify the material realm and see it as the ultimate expression of divine love, is actually leading you further into captivity. The true God, the infinite source beyond all names and forms, did not create this world of suffering. That was the work of the Demiurge and his servants, the archons, the rulers of this realm who feed on human ignorance and spiritual energy. They have constructed an entire system of control, not just through governments and institutions, but through belief systems that keep you identified with the false body, the copy, rather than awakening to your true nature as a being of light. This is why the early church authorities were so threatened by Gnostic teachings. In the 2nd and 3rd centuries, as Christianity was being formalized into an institutional religion, the Gnostic Christians were systematically persecuted and their texts were burned. Why? Because the Gnostics taught that you did not need a priest or a church to connect with the divine, that the kingdom of God was within you, that you carried the spark of the true God inside your very being. They taught that through direct mystical experience, through gnosis, you could remember your true origin, reconnect with your light body, and transcend the illusory power of the Demiurge. This was dangerous knowledge because it freed people from the need for external religious authority. If you can access the divine directly, if you can remember that you are not this limited physical form, but an eternal being of light, then no institution can control you. The secret book of John describes in vivid detail how the archons, the servants of the Demiurge, actively work to keep humanity asleep and forgetful of their true nature. These entities operate in the invisible realms, influencing human consciousness, promoting materialism, encouraging identification with the body and the ego, and creating systems of thought that deny the spiritual dimension of existence. They want you to believe that this physical world is all there is, that when your body dies, you cease to exist, because as long as you believe that, you will remain trapped in their cycle of reincarnation, returning again and again to this prison realm, providing them with the emotional and spiritual energy they require. But the moment you awaken to the truth, the moment you remember your light body and recognize the Demiurge for what he is, their power over you begins to dissolve. So how do you begin the process of remembering? How do you reconnect with this original divine form that exists beyond the reach of the false creator? The first step is always awareness. By hearing this teaching, by allowing it to penetrate beneath the layers of conditioning that have been placed upon you, you have already begun the awakening process. The very fact that these words resonate with something deep inside you is evidence that your divine spark is stirring, that your light body is beginning to remember itself. The next step is to cultivate practices that shift your identification away from the physical body and toward your true spiritual essence. This does not mean rejecting or hating the body. That would be falling into another trap, but rather recognizing it for what it is: a temporary vehicle, a tool that you are using for this particular experience, but not your true self. Meditation becomes crucial in this process, but not meditation as it is often taught in mainstream spirituality. You are not trying to empty your mind or achieve a state of blissful relaxation. You are using meditation as a technology for consciousness, a way to shift your awareness from the physical dimension to the subtle dimensions where your light body resides. Begin by sitting in stillness and focusing your attention at the center of your chest, in the area of your heart. This is not the physical heart muscle, but the spiritual heart center, the point where your divine spark resides, As you breathe slowly and deeply, imagine a small point of brilliant light beginning to glow in this space. With each breath, see this light growing brighter, expanding outward, filling your chest, then your entire torso, then extending throughout your whole body. You are not visualizing something that does not exist. You are remembering something that has always been there, hidden beneath the density of matter. This light is your true form, beginning to emerge into your conscious awareness. As you practice this consistently, you will begin to notice changes in how you experience yourself. You may start to feel sensations of energy moving through your body in ways that have nothing to do with blood flow or nerve signals. You may experience moments where you feel yourself expanding beyond the boundaries of your physical form, where your awareness extends into the space around you. You may have dreams or visions of yourself as a being of light, radiant, and free. These are not fantasies or hallucinations. They are glimpses of your true nature, memories of your light body beginning to surface in your consciousness. The Gnostic masters called this process anamnesis, the remembering of what has been forgotten, the recovery of the knowledge that was always yours, but was buried beneath layers of false programming. The Gospel of Thomas, perhaps the most famous of the Gnostic texts, contains a saying of Jesus that directly relates to this teaching. He says, "If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you." What is within you? It is the divine light, the spark of the true God, the connection to your eternal light body. To bring it forth means to awaken it, to remember it, to allow it to shine through the dense material form that currently houses it. This is the true salvation, not believing in an external Savior who will rescue you from sin, but awakening the Savior that lives within you, the divine consciousness that has always been present, waiting for you to remember. As you continue on this path of remembering, you will find that your relationship to the physical world begins to change dramatically. Things that once seemed solid and permanent will start to appear more fluid and dreamlike. You will see through the illusions that once held you captive, recognizing them as constructs of the Demiurge, designed to keep you locked in a particular frequency of consciousness. You will notice the ways that society, media, and even well-meaning people around you are constantly reinforcing the identification with the material body, telling you that your worth is determined by how you look, how healthy you are, how attractive you appear to others. You will see these messages for what they are: programming designed to keep you focused on the copy rather than the original, the false body rather than the true light body. This awakening is not always easy or comfortable. As you begin to remember who you truly are, you may experience what the mystics call the dark night of the soul, a period where everything you thought you knew about reality begins to crumble, where you feel lost between two worlds, no longer fully identified with the material realm, but not yet fully established in your divine nature. This is a natural part of the process, a necessary dissolution of the false self that must occur before the true self can fully emerge. During these times, it is crucial to remember that you are not alone, that countless others have walked this path before you and that the very discomfort you feel is evidence that the transformation is working, that the light is breaking through the darkness. The ancient Gnostics also taught specific techniques for strengthening the light body and preparing it for the eventual liberation from the material realm. One such practice involves working with sacred sounds and vibrations. The universe itself is made of vibration, and certain sounds have the power to activate specific frequencies within your energy body. The vowel sounds, in particular, were considered by the Gnostics to be keys that could unlock different dimensions of consciousness. By chanting these sounds in meditation, you create resonance patterns that help to crystallize your light body and make it more tangible to your awareness. Begin with the sound of A, chanted from deep in your belly. Then move through E, I, O, and U, feeling each sound activate a different center in your body. As you do this practice regularly, you are quite literally tuning your energy body to higher frequencies, making it easier for your consciousness to shift from identification with the material form to awareness of your true light nature. Another powerful practice involves working with the element of light directly. The Gnostics understood that light is not merely a physical phenomenon, but a spiritual substance, the very essence of the divine realm. By practicing what we might call light bathing, you can absorb spiritual light into your being and accelerate the awakening of your light body. This can be done by spending time in natural sunlight with the conscious intention of absorbing not just the physical photons, but the spiritual light that permeates them. It can also be done in meditation by visualizing yourself standing in a cascade of pure white or golden light pouring down from the infinite source above, washing through your physical form and igniting your light body within. As you do this, speak to the light. Acknowledge it as your true nature. Tell it that you are ready to remember, ready to awaken, ready to return to your original divine state. The ultimate goal of this entire process, according to Gnostic teaching, is what they called the ascension, the moment when your consciousness fully shifts from identification with the material body to identification with the light body, and you are able to transcend the realm of the Demiurge entirely. This is not something that happens after physical death, at least not for everyone. The Gnostics taught that it was possible to achieve this liberation while still inhabiting the physical form, to become fully awake within the dream, to see through the illusion while still appearing to participate in it. When this happens, you become a beacon for others. Your very presence helps to awaken the divine spark in those around you, because they sense, even if unconsciously, that you have accessed something real, something that they too are desperately seeking. As we come toward the end of this exploration, I want to remind you of the profound truth we have uncovered today. You are not a creation of the Demiurge, not truly. Yes, the physical body you currently inhabit was fashioned by that blind god, copied from a reflection of something he could barely comprehend. But you, your true essence, your divine consciousness, your eternal light body, existed before this material realm was ever created. You descended into this realm for reasons we may not fully understand, perhaps as part of a cosmic rescue mission, perhaps to learn something that could only be learned in the density of matter. But you have been here too long, asleep for too many cycles, and now the time has come to remember, to awaken, to reclaim your true divine heritage. The knowledge you have received today is not meant to make you feel hopeless or imprisoned, but rather to ignite the fire of liberation within you. Now that you know the truth, now that you understand the nature of the copy and the original, you have the power to choose which reality you will give your energy and attention to. If this message has touched something deep within your soul, if you feel the stirring of your own divine spark responding to these words, then I invite you to join this community of awakening souls by subscribing to this channel. We are creating a space for those who are ready to go beyond the surface teachings, who are willing to explore the hidden wisdom that was deliberately suppressed, who are committed to the path of genuine spiritual liberation. Each video we create is designed to help you remember more of who you truly are, to provide you with practical tools for activating your light body, and to support you on this journey from imprisonment to freedom. Leave a comment below sharing your experience with these teachings. Let us know what aspects of your light body you are beginning to remember and how this knowledge is transforming your understanding of yourself and reality. Together, we are building a network of light in the midst of the darkness, helping each other remember the truth that the powers of this world have tried so hard to make us forget. You were not made in the image of the Demiurge. You were not created by the blind god of this material realm. You are a being of eternal light, and it is time to come home to that truth. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having the courage to seek what is real. And may your journey of remembering be filled with grace, power, and the unshakable knowing of your true divine nature.